Good evening, movie lovers. It's time for Cinar's Movie Reviews. I'm Cindy. I am your reviewer for Cinar's Movie Reviews. And tonight I'm going to be reviewing the movie Jackie, starring Natalie Portman. This movie is based on the life of Jackie Kennedy, the First Lady of the United States. The first thing I'm going to do before I review the movie or tell you a little bit about the movie is I'm going to tell you what audience I think it's appropriate for. For this movie, I'm going to give it a 2. It's not totally an adult movie, but it's not a family-friendly movie either. It's kind of in between. I would say that an appropriate age for this would be 15 years old and up. If the kid is a history buff, I don't see children running out to want to rent this movie and watch it. This is more of an adult movie, but again, it's not inappropriate for a younger audience. This movie takes place from the day of the Kennedy assassination to the day where Jackie Kennedy and the children actually move out of the White House. And it is a retelling of kind of what happened to her during that time period. Basically, in the movie, she is being interviewed for a magazine, and, you know, she is going to try to tell the world a positive message about John F. Kennedy and whatnot. And, you know, she keeps telling this reporter the story of that time period, but then she keeps saying, you can't print that, you can't print that, you can't print that. So it's kind of, you know, a situation where, you know, she wants to be in control and, you know, he's just trying to do his job. You know my criteria for when I review movies. The first is, was I entertained? Is it plausible? And how well did the actors do in the role? This movie fell short on 2 out of those 3 criteria. The first thing it fell short on was I entertained? This movie I found to be extremely slow. There's a lot of dialogue and a lot of things, not a lot of action. In the few places where there was some interesting tidbits or things that happened, they were far and few in between. I actually fell asleep during part of this movie and was woken up by my cell phone. So I found this movie to be very slow. The other thing it failed on was the actor's portrayal. And no offense to Miss Portman, she's usually a very good actress, but I just did not like her in this role. I don't know how Jackie Kennedy was when she was alive. I always pictured her to be very eloquent and very poised, etc. I think that in this movie, from the way Natalie Portman portrayed her, I felt like she was either drunk all the time or had some sort of mental problem, because she was very starey and very like, oh, really? I did not know that. So I didn't see Jackie Kennedy, and again, maybe that's the way she was, but that's not the way that I always imagined her to be. So I didn't appreciate the portrayal by Miss Portman in this role. The one thing that it did pass on is it plausible? And yes, absolutely, it's American history. So we all know that Kennedy was shot. We all know the whole situation where she was trying to hold his head and she went back on the back of the car to try to get the skull and the whole 9 yards. And we all know about the pomp and circumstance of his funeral. So yes, absolutely, that part of it, was it plausible? Absolutely, it hit that right on the head. For my review for this movie, I'm going to give it 2 clapboards. And the reason I'm giving it 2 and not 1 is because I think that if you were a real true history buff, this might be entertaining to you. You may appreciate this movie. For me, it fell short. It was very, very dialogue heavy. It was very slow moving, and again, it just did not hold my interest. And again, maybe I am the wrong audience for this type of film, but I was hopeful because I thought that maybe it might give me a little bit more of a glimpse into her and whatever. Again, I just found myself hating her because of the way she was portrayed. So that is why I'm giving it a 2 and not a 1, because again, it wasn't that horrible where, you know, I didn't want to watch it till the end, but by the same token, I wouldn't bother to watch it again. I hope that's helpful. I will watch something else tomorrow, and I will give you a review for something else tomorrow. Again, I have a bunch of different things, so I don't know. It just kind of depends on the mood that I'm in tomorrow for my review. But again, it will be something that is pretty recent. And until that time, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow talking about the movies.